So there aren't many people who could do what I did this year. Starting a new sport in high school is probably one of the hardest things you can do. But I did learn a very important lesson from it. I learned that quitting is not the right answer, because if you stick with something, you could actually benefit from it. So this year I went out for wrestling instead of basketball. I thought, well, it can't be that hard. I mean, there's not much to do. I was wrong. I was way wrong. Not only did I start the sport in high school, I probably picked the worst sport to start in the middle of high school, because there's so much technique that you have to know, and I knew, the only thing I really knew about wrestling was that it was on a mat. That was it. So I go in there, and our first practice didn't seem too bad. We were just drilling stuff, and I was learning it. Then we started going live, like an actual match, and that was just bad. I was wrestling someone who actually knew what they were doing, and I just got pounded on every day. It was not fun. And then our first meet was up in Decorah, so naturally I had to wrestle a senior from Decorah, and you can kind of figure out what happened. So I just went back to practice and just kept going with it. And then we got to our first tournament in Monticello, and I actually won a match. The kid was from Marion. I don't remember his name, but I beat him. I beat him twice at that tournament, once by decision, and the second time I pinned him. And the rest of the season I beat him, I think, 3 more times. And then, so after that Monticello tournament, I just went back into a rut, went to practice, went to meets, went to tournaments, got beat again, and then beat some more. And then I thought it would just be like that for the rest of the season. But then we came to Christmas break. Christmas break was horrible. I had just gotten over a cold, so I had a cough and didn't feel good at all. And I didn't want to go to practice because it was Christmas break. And for some reason, our coach was on edge for the entire break. So practices were worse than normal because they were in the morning, didn't want to do anything. And when you're sick in wrestling, you can't breathe, and you have someone who weighs 220 pounds on top of you. It's not easy to breathe.
Yeah.
But I eventually got through it, and then we got back into a rut with me getting destroyed, me going to practice, and just that routine. So then I did end up winning a couple more matches. I think I finished with like 8 and however many I lost. And then I started counting the days until it would be over. It would be like 3 weeks left of this, 2 weeks left, 1 week left. Then it ended up being at sectionals. My first idea when I was there was like, all right, I got to get out there, I got to get in twice, and I can leave. So I eventually got over that by my first match, because if I went out there and threw the match, I'd get in trouble. But I lost my first one, so that meant I was done. I couldn't go on to districts. So then I just went out there and I wrestled a kid that had beaten me twice, and I pinned him, so I guess I picked up something over the season. And so then that pretty much was it. I'm still practicing because Stevie made it to district, so I got to practice with him. But I'm really glad that I didn't quit. The first couple weeks, it was just awful, and I just didn't want to do it. But I stayed with it, and now I think that it's helped me in more than one way, and I think I'm going to stick with it through the rest of high school.